Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of Anime on Draft, episode number 21. We have another kind of a special type of episode today. We're all in one place once again, so I'm joined with my two lovely co-hosts, Rolando.
Oh, thank you.
And Alex.
Sup?
So we're here today again. We're all joined together in one room, trying this kind of setup out again. We liked how it went last time, and Rolando was nice enough to grace us with his presence. So we're going to do that. We got a couple different things to talk about today, but let's go ahead and start with our beer for this week. Rolando and I were able to check out the Stone Brewery here in San Diego, and so we went and picked up a growler and had a couple tastes of a couple different beers and kind of decided on this one. So the name of this one is a Stone, which is the brewery, and it's a collaboration between Stone and Koteka, and it's called the Rise and Grind. It is an imperial red stout, and it was bourbon barrel aged, and it includes Papua New Guinea coffee. So a lot going on.
Papua New Guinea.
As long as it's not that that whatchamacallit.
Well, whatchamacallit?
The poop coffee.
Yeah, it's not the poop coffee.
Kope Luwak?
Yeah, I think that's what it's
The
called.
out of monkey butt coffee?
Yeah.
That's what it roughly translates to. Out of monkey butt.
We're not gonna drink.
We're
I mean,
not
I
drinking.
would try it.
We're not
It's
drinking
supposed
shit.
to be really good.
I guess like supposed to be like one of the best coffees.
I think,
like, ever.
if I
Because
had the opportunity.
they eat, like,
because they digest it and they fucking shit it out.
It's roasted, so like all the bacteria is gone and shit.
I mean, you're not gonna taste poop. You're gonna taste like delicious coffee,
Delicious
digested
coffiness.
from this
Out of monkey poop.
crazy monkey cat thing.
Exactly, yeah.
But
I would give it a
Yeah.
shot. It's one of those things,
I
like,
would
if I
try
had the
it.
chance, I'd try
Yeah,
it.
well, I mean, if
100%.
it pooped it out inside of a Best Buy, then
Yeah. Yeah, like a lemur
Yeah.
in the rafters.
so let's
Moving on.
let's go ahead and kind of take a look at this guy. It's got a beautiful color. I don't know if you guys agree.
Beautiful clock.
it's a beautiful clock.
Beautiful clock. So it looks like a red imperial ale. I mean, it's like
Yes, it does.
It's beautifully brick red. When we poured it, it had a good head, nice retention on there.
Stays for a while.
Exactly.
The smell, you smell the coffee and the bourbon.
I think that's why we picked it, Rolando, because
Yeah.
we tasted a couple different ones, and we were like, this one smells really fucking good. Like even
Yeah.
before we tried
So
it, it's
what
like,
is it made? It's a imperial red, but did you get a description when you were at Stone of it, like exactly what's in it and all
all
that?
they said was basically what's in the title. Was aged in bourbon barrels, and it has coffee.
So they didn't give anything crazy in depth.
No.
All right. Yeah, you definitely smell the bourbon.
The chick who like sold us the growler or whatever was kind of rude, so I like wasn't trying
I think she was-
to ask her like a ton of things.
She was mad because we tried another beer, like a little sample, and then we asked to try this one.
Huh.
We were trying to decide which beer to get.
Right.
It's like I spent $40 on a fucking growler, and she was being all like uptight, like, well, I guess I'll give you another sampler, like,
Oh, she didn't have to give us as much as she gave us.
yeah,
All you need is,
Yeah, well, like
A
we
sip.
got like a quarter of a cup.
yeah. You don't even need that. Eighth of a cup.
Yeah.
But
She's just being generous and rude
I don't know. She was,
at the same time.
she was an interesting experience, but go ahead and tasting this beer. You get the bourbon for sure, and you get hoppiness. I think Stone's kind of known for its kind of IPA style, and that's kind of what boomed the kind of IPA San Diego trend, I would say. So you get the IPA hoppiness from this, but you also get the bourbon notes and the coffee notes for sure.
I get a lot of bourbon.
Mhm.
And
I get
then
a lot of bourbon
hoppiness.
too.
Yeah.
It's that, like you were saying, it's the hoppy first,
Mhm.
and then like I get a lot of bourbon right there.
Mhm.
The coffee's kind of an aftertaste for me.
Yeah, the coffee is definitely an aftertaste. It's not like in the forefront of your palate for sure. Definitely
From the
comparing to when you
smell.
smell exactly,
Yeah.
it's not
Like bourbon. If you like this, like bourbon.
no.
Yeah.
If you know you don't like bourbon, this probably isn't for you.
Or any bourbon barrel
Yeah.
aged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or any bourbon barrel aged.
It's not like it doesn't really
Beer.
taste like a typical red ale either. Because like when I think of red ale, I think of like Newcastle sort of deal, or I think of what's that? I think BJ's, the brewery chain or whatever, they have like a good red ale. I think it's like a Piranha maybe. I can't remember the specific name of it, but this doesn't taste like either of those at all.
I think it's because it's an imperial
Yeah.
red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So imperial reds tend to be a lot more hoppy than
Yeah.
I know.
than those.
I mean, I'm actually BJ's actually has a lot of good beers that they make themselves.
Mhm.
They're actually pretty impressive as a brewery.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh, it's just a restaurant."
They don't bottle
It's
anything,
actually-
which is weird.
No, because they just sell it at their restaurant.
Yeah.
I have
Their
like
restaurant's so big. So.
like a few cans of the Kolsch
Mhm.
just in my fridge.
Yeah, it's really
been
good.
Oh, it's the Jeremiah Red. What I was thinking. The Jeremiah Red is their red.
The other place that doesn't really bottle things is Taps Fish House and Brewery. If you have the chance to go there, their beers are really good there too. They have a pumpkin beer that they make in October. Oh my god, it's the best pumpkin beer I have ever had.
I'm waiting
So,
for all the.
October,
I'm waiting
really?
for all the
We need to
basic
go.
bitch like pumpkin spice that's gonna be coming out here pretty soon.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I usually just get the Sam Adams.
yeah, the Sam Adams, the Harvest.
The Sam Adams Harvest is good.
is really really good.
It's really good.
Any other thoughts about this guy or drinking? I mean, it's pretty complex. I mean, you get obviously the bourbon, the coffee, anything else you guys can kind of get out of this. I mean, like you said, the bourbon flavor is pretty.
The bourbon
Pretty
is pretty
strong.
prevalent. You get the hops.
Malt,
The
Yeah.
malt, yeah.
malt, hops, bourbon, coffee, kind of as an aftertaste. You really got to look for it
Yeah.
after the bourbon starts to go away.
We
Pay attention for it.
we had a couple friends over and they said they like the smokiness of the beer, and I think you kind of get that I think from the cask that it
Cask,
was aged in.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like another aftertaste. It kind of goes with the coffee flavor.
Yeah, because the
there.
cask that they put beer in, I'm pretty sure they like oven roast them.
Mhm.
I'm air quoting here because I don't know if they call it oven roasting,
Yeah.
but like they burn them essentially so that they fit a certain mold and they don't expand and all that, and they
Yeah.
don't suck up all this. They do, but don't, so they don't leak. But
Yeah. They talk about it like if you go on like a bourbon trail tour, you know, like go to like one of the
in Kentucky,
in Kentucky.
it'd be so cool.
I want to go.
That would be so cool. My parents went on one when they went to the Kentucky Derby and they went on like the bourbon trail or whatever, and they were like, "It's so cool." I was like, "You guys don't even like bourbon."
Yeah.
I don't understand. I was
It'd
mad.
be cool to go on one.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun.
Well, guys, let's go ahead and give our rating for this. Let's start with you, Alec, because me and Rolando both thought that you wouldn't like this at all.
No, I like it a lot.
Well, I did say that like he's either not
Yeah,
gonna like it or
yeah.
he's gonna really like it.
Right.
I really like this. So for me, like the first few sips I took, it was bitter. I was like, this is really bitter. But like,
Mhm.
I took a couple sips and I was like, all right, let me get past this bitterness. I know it's gonna hit me in the beginning. Let me see what comes after. I love the bourbon flavor after, the smokiness that comes with like the cask and the coffee and all that comes after. And you really get like, for me, like the bitterness hits first and then you get the bourbon. And then after you get this like malty smokiness that kind of like washes away the bitter for me.
Mhm.
And it's just delicious. Like it feels really smooth on the tongue. And like, so I'm pleasantly surprised. Because it is so bitter at the start. I thought maybe I would take more swigs and not like it so much, but
Kind of grows on you, right?
it does.
It grows on you.
does.
It's really drinkable.
It is really drinkable.
I've been
Like
sitting here. We
really
killed the growler. I've just been drinking it,
And it's
like,
strong.
like pouring more. Yeah,
it's strong ass,
10.2%.
10.2%.
and like the alcohol.
This is gonna be a good episode.
It always is. When the beer is strong, the episode's good. Let's see. Rating. Let me think. So
Yeah, think.
I like red ales. It's the initial taste is a little bitter for my like palate, but
Your palate?
I think my palate. I think I'll give it a 4.25. I think it's a
Wow.
really good beer.
Wow.
Wow.
I think that like it is bitter in the beginning, but once you get past that and you notice the stuff after, like it is very drinkable. The malt really washes away the bitterness for me, and the bourbon flavor. I love whiskey. You guys know me. I love whiskey. I like bourbon.
Whiskey.
I like rye for my old fashions, and I like Scotch. Don't give me Irish whiskey. But I
We
like.
got some Jameson
No,
over
thank
there
you.
for you.
I'm okay.
he's gonna
Okay.
throw up.
We got,
No,
He's
thank
into it.
we got some. Over,
I'm okay.
It's over there.
But yeah, 4.25. Let's go there before I could talk for a while. This beer, it's hitting me.
Rolando, what do you think, man?
Yeah. I mean, you know, like we both went to Stone and we were deciding the beer. We both took a smell. We're like, We already kind of had that inclination. We took a sip. You're like, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I do like the bourbon taste. I'm also a big whiskey fan. Love bourbon. But I kind of feel like you lose the whole coffee because like there's really amazing coffee smell and it's kind of lost.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like you lose that coffee that I kind of want a little bit more prevalent in the bitterness of the hops and you know the whole like strength of the bourbon taste.
It's more smoke than like
Yeah.
coffee, and it kind of needs the coffee
So
flavor.
do you guys
to
want
come
it to
through.
stay longer? Because I taste it there, but it does disappear quickly. I agree.
Yeah, I feel like if you got a little bit more of the coffee and less of the bourbon, it would be a bit better. But I'm gonna give it a 4. It's a great beer, but
You're just
it
nitpicking.
could be. I'm being nitpicky
Yeah.
just from what I expect from it,
Mhm.
but that's just
From a brewery like Stone, on
No.
the level that Stone is at.
I'm gonna kind of agree with you, Rolando. It's like nitpicking at this point for me too. For all the things that kind of you mentioned, I want less smoky, less bourbon, a little bit more coffee, maybe a little bit less hops. Again, super nitpicking. It's a good beer. I definitely people listening. You're probably not gonna be able to get this. You can only get it at the brewery.
yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but I mean, it is what it is.
You just gotta make a trip down to the craft brew mecca.
Right. Come on down. But yeah, it's a good beer. Like we said, drinkable, all of the above. But I'm gonna keep it at like a 3.75. Again, super nitpicky. But like we said, I think it's gonna be a good episode because
Strong.
10.2%. Definitely something that you can drink. Like we killed an entire growler. Alec had a full glass when we started the segment, and it's now less than halfway. Same way I think with most of us. So keep that in mind. But again, definitely a good beer. Expect a little bit more out of Stone in terms of their flavor profiles and things like that. But all in all, super solid. So
super solid.
that's right. So with that, let's move into our pairing this week. Do you want to start with gamers since we just all enjoyed it together as one big happy family?
We all just watched it.
We just literally just watched it.
We're the 3 best friends that anyone can have.
Yeah. So this week we see the kind of the fallout of what happens with Koteka. I want to say proposing, but that's not the word.
No.
Propositioning is also not the
Confessing.
word. Confessing.
Confessing.
That's the word.
That's the word they always use.
Proposal. That's
Proposing.
a little too.
And
But
this
they're not
week in
quite there.
gamers,
They're a
they're
little too
getting
awkward to
married.
get to that stage. But anyway, he ends up asking her out on a date, and just before we kind of see the fallout of the date and things like that, we have the random kind of misunderstanding and
That have plagued the show.
because they can't talk to each other because they're awkward and in high school and they think they know everything but they don't know everything, and it's just
And they're 12, by the way.
and they're
So you
12
mean
by the
people
way.
until they're like 24?
It's like
No one likes you when you're 23.
it's
Let's
like
be
it's
real.
like
Yeah.
just talk to each other, idiots. Like you'll get rid of all this misunderstandings
question.
and you'll be happier. Like
Ask a question. Be like, do you like her? No.
Yeah, but
Oh,
no,
are
no,
you-
just
are
think
you
about
dating
this.
her?
Are you dating?
No,
No.
let's rationalize this though, because in high school, would you have ever thought that you could ask that question?
No, I mean, I completely get it.
Yeah.
But it's still frustrating.
Yeah.
It's frustrating
Because
for us
now-
because we've been through it.
Now I'm
Yeah.
like, just ask the fucking
Yeah,
person, hey,
yeah.
are you dating them?
no.
Do you
or
like
they're
them
like,
at all?
Or they're like, yes. And you're like, well, now I know. And it's over.
Or
all
just be
right?
like, do you like him?
yeah.
No, I like you. Oh, well, great. Let's go out. Like, but that's never how shit
No
goes.
one does that. No.
Yeah.
If only everyone were honest.
So I mean, we see all the misunderstandings, Augury, they talk in the coffee shop with Keita, and then it's like, are they actually dating? It's like, no, we know that they're not, but everybody has a misunderstanding. They're dating, and then Tendo and Uehara, like everybody thinks like they like each other, but they don't. Tendo likes Keita, and it's just the whole love triangle of bullshit.
And then
Triangle
they still
of
think that Uehara is playing everybody and like
Yeah.
is with
He's
Chiaki.
just fucking all the girls.
And he actually.
and the main guy.
And he actually really likes Aguirre. Like after we
Yeah.
saw it, like after
He's
like
the most
episode,
insecure one.
Yeah, he's like the totally most insecure one. He's like, I like this girl, and like I just found out that she liked me when I was like fucking weird in middle school.
He didn't even like her though. Before he found that out, he was like, she's okay. She's
because he
cute.
thought that
cute.
she was
hot.
just, he
Yeah.
thought she was
Dumb.
just some gal that
some
like
hot girl that's
Yeah.
dumb
That,
like
Yeah.
was into him, and
just
he's like,
thought,
all right.
yeah.
And then he found out she liked him the whole time. He's like, oh my god, I really
like,
like
this
her.
is hot now.
And then he goes back to his like
he's like,
old
oh my
self.
god, she's so like.
And
nerdy,
we all know
Alvin.
that the people who pretend to be somebody that they're not are the most insecure people.
Yeah.
And that's him. And he's
Well,
like,
that's Aguirre
Aguirre too, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why it's funny.
and they're
Yeah.
both freaking out.
Yeah. I mean, we saw the epic stare down contest of epic proportions. Like,
I'm waiting for it to devolve into the whole love triangle between Tendo,
Main guy.
Amano, and
it's not even like a
Chiaki.
triangle. It's like a fucking
so-
rhombus or something crazy of like all these fucking characters.
Because
Like,
like I know,
Rhombus.
like the whole like
Rhombus.
Aguri and Urahara thing that's gonna get settled.
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
it's gonna become a competition between like
Tendo
Tendo,
and
and
Chiaki.
Chiaki who
Yeah.
gets Amano.
well, Rolando, you were talking about it earlier. So if you want to like kind of dive into it, the differences between like Chiaki and Tendo, who you think is kind of better, who you think should win, and things like that. I mean, it's we get like a lot of character development for both of them. So I think we had a Tendo episode this time. We might get a Chiaki episode next time. Chiaki was kind of prevalent at the end of this episode, but what do you think between the two? Who do you like better?
I see. This is why I'm torn because
Confusion.
I've already said that I thought Karen was really boring and
Yeah.
like, flat for like the first few episodes, and then there's the episode before last week's, and then there's this week's episode
Mhm.
where they were like super focused on her as a character, and I was just like, like I kind of like want to root for her, you know?
Yeah.
Pretendo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like now I'm torn because like I thought Chiaki was better at first, but then now it's just like I know they're gonna in the next couple of episodes like ship her
Yeah.
just because that's how it always goes.
Mhm.
And so I'm gonna be super torn between the two. But like at this point I kind of feel like Karen's at the top,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, I think I agree. What do you think, Alec?
So honestly, I don't know.
Mhm.
I kind of like both of them for the characteristics they're doing. They haven't really evolved either of them to the point where I'm like, I like one more than
Yeah.
another.
Mhm.
But I do think that once you guys decide on which one you like more than another, it'll definitely tell me what kind of girl you guys are into as people.
I think
I
this
think
is
that discussion's more better for something like Classroom of the Elite or
Yeah.
Coffee Brewery.
Yeah.
That's when you really find out.
I think
They're more
this
in
is
depth in characters.
this
there, I
this
agree.
is a good show though, because usually when there's ships, like we talked about it last season, with fucking Masamune with the Aramanga Sensei, we knew who was best like after 2 or 3 episodes, but this show's kind of good in that we don't necessarily kind of know who's best. You know, there's Aguirre's meh. We know that she's probably gonna have resolution with Uehara, but between like the two other main girls, like it's kind of hard to pick. I mean, they both have good characteristics. You know, Chiaki has like this shy kind of, not an experience, but I mean Tendo has that in a way as well. So it's hard to pick between the two. They all make mistakes. The main character is an idiot. So that makes
What
it
a
hard
surprise.
as well.
That's
They had
What
the
a
whole fucking second half of this episode where they're like saluting each other and like yes, commander, like
awkward.
we're going on a date, like just
so
awkwardness.
That's
I mean,
the reason though that I can't pick one or the other.
yeah.
Because both of them have the same like they're almost exactly the same as each other, but flipped. So like
Well-
on the outside, Chiaki is
Mhm.
really shy and kind of like, like
But
shy
she has
and
a strong
timid.
personality.
But when she's around
Mhm.
Amano, she's got that strong
Yeah.
"I hate you,"
Yeah.
even though she doesn't personality. Whereas Tendo, Karen, when she's around Amano, she's shy,
Yeah.
but normally she's that I'm a
she's
confident
like
blonde
putting on
woman.
airs. Yeah.
That sort of thing. So they both have like the same characteristics as each other, but flipped in when they use them.
And
So it's hard.
kind of going off of that too, like Amano kind of brings out the best and
best of
worst
both,
parts of
yeah.
their personalities because he's so basic and stupid. Like
He's a basic bitch.
I hate him as a character, but anyway, he brings out their different personalities. Like you said, he brings out Chiaki's by they have their gamer side and they bond and they have like their butting heads and about what they're passionate about, and then he makes Karen uncomfortable, which is good for her because she can see that she's not always, at the top of her game. She's not always, running in the morning and studying and denying boys and different things like that. So it's like a good switch up for her, which gives her good character development. So he brings out the kind of the best and worst of both of them, which is definitely good. I mean, he's a good I don't like him, but he's a good character for that.
He's good for the show.
Definitely.
He's very
definitely,
good for the show.
Definitely, because
He
he's
unknowingly grows each character.
definitely definitely.
Mhm.
So. Good episode this week. Hoping Chiaki gets some more development next week so we can kind of see and just talk to each other, guys. Like,
Just ask questions.
It's getting, like I said it, like we were talking about it in Discord, but I thought it was really like I liked the episode a lot,
Mhm.
but the whole misunderstanding thing was starting to get on my nerves because
yeah.
they had situations where they could kind of start to play with it and like start to
Mhm. It's becoming a little
Fix it.
much. It's not like overwhelming yet, but if they keep doing the same shit, it's gonna be like,
yeah.
this is frustrating.
I
Like,
think this is the last episode where I'll be able to tolerate it and think that it's still comical and like useful for the plot. If they go past this and they, with the same intensity that it has right now, if they start to because obviously you bring things up and then you bring it down. If
Yeah.
they start to bring it down after this episode, it'll stay really good.
Yeah.
If they keep it at this and keep going up, I'm gonna be like, I'm getting sick of it.
Yeah.
We need to move on.
Because
I
like
agree.
we're past the halfway point.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's losing its comedic value, and it's like we need to start seeing some resolution so that
Yeah.
by the end we can be happy with the solution that they give us.
Yeah.
like
Otherwise, no.
honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the next episode. So it's like next episode could either be focused on Chiaki or it could be focused on the relationship between Aguri and
yeah.
Urahara.
Yeah, that's what
So like
think.
that's what I feel is coming.
I hope
next.
it's Urahara and Aguri.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need to stop staring at each other awkwardly and just
And
fuck.
He's so guilty.
and just fuck.
He's guilty.
And then
So
fucking
am I,
Aguri
though.
needs to stop making those mystery fountain drinks.
Yeah, of, like American flag and like green and
No, there's a French
What is
flag.
it?
like
Mark, our friend that was
That
a
was on the
guest
show.
a few weeks ago.
Mhm.
Who?
Mark.
Who? Who's that?
Tasty.
Tasty?
what?
Tasty. Well,
We don't have friends.
I remember so like he lived by me down here in San Diego. Like we went to the same middle school and all of our high school with us, and like sometimes I get like a ride with him, and then like yes, Alec. We would like sometimes like go get like fast food, and like if like in high school like we would like sometimes like mix drinks kind of like what Aguri
Yeah.
was doing. And then his mom would call them suicide drinks. She's like, "Oh, you guys got suicide drinks? That looked like a suicide drink right there.
And it got like
It
mixed.
had the colors. We could see like the image right now that's on the PlayStation.
Green
but, like,
on the bottom.
there's green on the bottom. It looks like the separated fluids, like that show different density that you have in chemistry. It's just like what the fuck?
like
She's
when
drinking
she
chemicals.
like first had it ordered, it was like perfectly like different lines, and then she like stirred it up, and it was like fucking disgusting.
just,
Like
Oh.
brown. It was like brown.
Why is there white in there? Is that
It's
milk?
cl- It's clear.
Sprite,
It's
Sprite.
Sprite, dude. With the bubbles, it looks kind of
No,
like
dude,
No,
it's
it's cow
it's.
piss.
I was gonna say it's cow. It's fucking
It's
cow
fucking
piss.
cow
It's fucking
piss.
cow piss.
All right.
You're
All right.
thinking like the actual animal cow and piss. No, it is like an actual drink. It is like this white.
They call it
like,
Calpico
It's
in the
cal.
US.
It's
I've seen
Calpico,
Calpico, yeah.
but it's cow piss.
Julius loves.
It's
Dude,
it's fucking
delicious.
good.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
It's great. Anyway, let's
Off topic.
let's move on. Let's talk about my favorite game company, and the girls of New Game. Pretty good episode this week. We were introduced to a couple new characters. My waifu comes in with the suit and cleans up very well.
I mean, I have to agree. She cleaned up pretty well.
I mean, everyone can complain that Nenechi is fucking annoying, but she is pure.
I think
She's
I'm in the
not-
middle ground.
She needs to be protected.
You love her. You're
do.
annoyed as hell by her, and I'm like, meh.
She's mad.
I'm just like, whatever.
She learned.
She's a person.
She's so pure. Like she learned.
learning.
She learned programming because she couldn't get hired as a debugger anymore because they're like, we're not hiring anybody for part time to debug. She's like, you know what? To be with my friends and to be with
with her destined one.
with her destined one.
Albatron?
No, not Alba. Fucking what's her name? What's the dark Umiko. To be with her, and she's like, I want you to be my programming senpai, and so she learns programming,
tall, dark, and
programming.
and
programming.
and airsoft.
Yeah. Tall, dark, and airsoft.
But so Nenechi comes in, she gets hired to kind of do like this apprenticeship or internship under Umiko to get better. So she's great. I love her. Stop making weird faces at each other, you fucking weirdos. What did you guys think of this episode?
I kind of expected this. I knew this was going to be the next episode. I kind of like said it last week, just because it makes the most sense. I do agree with you. I think that Aochi cleaned up. She looked. Oh yeah, sorry, she cleaned up.
Whoa.
Sorry, it's 10.2%. All right. She cleaned up a bit. She looked a bit more mature, wearing the suit.
God, I love the fucking suit.
I knew it was gonna happen because like I know like just from reading the manga that like Alba's gonna be in the interview, and that basically Umiko's just fucking with Nene.
It's like, you're hired already. Like, we're just fucking with you
We're
pretty
just
much.
fucking with you. And it
Like,
was
we
just-
shouldn't have hired you, but basically I said, like, we're going to hire you on these conditions, and we just wanted to fuck with you because it's hilarious.
Yeah. So like I knew this was gonna happen, and I knew they were gonna kind of pair the new hire stuff together. So it's like we have got like Nene coming in as kind of like a part timer to train up to become potentially a full time programmer. And then we've got the two new girls, Momo and
Cat girl.
Katarina.
like the two new interns from the Tokyo Game School or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I had a feeling they were gonna show up because it's like we're halfway through the season and we need to, if they're gonna show up, they're gonna show up now.
They had him in the OP
and the
like-
ending for the whole season.
Yeah, it's like, where's blonde
Were they
or
in first season?
pink hair? No, not at all.
Just second, right?
But like
Yeah.
I knew that this was like the main conflict, and like you see like how pink haired girl was that one Momo or
Yeah, it's Momo.
yeah. I can't ever remember her name, but like she wants to be a character designer and she went to school. So this is like the conflict that we miss because like volume 5 of the actual manga like covers, like I talked about it last week, it covers Alba and Nene in high school and like their friend from high school that was in the last episodes.
Mhm.
She kind of has this like existential crisis because the friend kind of has this, so manga spoilers, she gets hired to do illustrations for a light novel.
Mhm.
And they're like, wow, that's so amazing. Like you could totally do professional work. But she's like, yeah, but like I hate it when like people just like shirk it off as talent because I work really hard to do what I do.
Mhm.
And like we see Alba as that
It is
type
talent,
of character, right?
Yeah.
And so like kind of brushing it off as like, natural talent is like ignoring the true hard work.
Right.
And so we kind of have a similar situation. Well, before that, Alba was deciding whether to apply for Eagle Jump out of high school or to go to college.
Right.
So had she gone to college, she would essentially be Momo, who is now interning over there. And so there's kind of like this dynamic between the two where it's like Momo could be how Alba was, like had she decided to go to college. Whereas Momo is probably seeing Alba as like, if I didn't go to school, I could have been a character designer in my second year.
And we sort of get like the comparison between the two, like and Ko kind of like initiates this, and like, you know, Alba is like so excited to have, you know, Kohai with her and things like that, and then they make the comparison of like them drinking like black coffee and like Alba assuming like that she doesn't like sweet things, or she doesn't like bitter things, yeah. And so Alba's always like making these comparisons because she's like sweet and innocent and things like that. And Momo's just like, hey, fuck you, like I could be better than you, sort of deal.
With that rage face.
Yeah,
man,
and she's like a fire around her, like I'm gonna be better. And then she gets her name wrong and she feels like an idiot. So I feel like she's like this big confident character, Momo. But at the same time, she's running into the same problems that Alba has. We talked about it last episode, where, you know, Alba should never do the key visuals. And we see the difference in levels of experience between 8 years and 1 year and things like that. And so it's like, you know, Momo has all this confidence and things like that, but
she doesn't have the experience.
Exactly. And you can be confident all you want, but we saw it with Ko. The just experience level is,
I mean,
she did admit that like she thought Alba's designs had they were dumber than
but they're still
Ko's,
good.
but
yeah,
she had to admit that they were good.
Yeah.
She said they were like, they felt less polished or less like.
I think she like says they're dumb.
She said dumb.
Yeah.
But like the three of us, we've all been to college, and we've all recognized the kind of disconnect between when we're done with school and then actually working.
And actually, because
like,
the real world is completely different.
It is. Like, you learn a lot from school, and it does help you and prepare you for the real world. Once you get into what you're doing, you're like, this is different than what I was actually doing. Like, and you learn a lot on the job. And like, because in school, it's like, well, if I fail, I can still make up for it. In work, if you fail, you get fired. Like, it's a much like harsher environment, so your learning curve is kind of accelerated in that respect. So like, in this situation, you know, Alba is like learning a lot very quickly because she's learning from someone who's been doing it for so long, and Momo's coming in with the confidence like, I've been through school.
Yeah,
like, I know what I'm doing,
I'm a
but really
badass.
You don't.
Yeah.
She's honestly been in school for a year.
Yeah. Ko knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
Alba and Momo don't know what they're doing. Like,
well,
Alba
I mean,
a little more
exactly.
because she's worked with Ko.
Exactly.
And so
I just love how Ko is just like, oh man, this is gonna be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And I feel like so bad because like Hifumi is gonna go like live in Ko's cubicle too, and so like they're gonna be like there witnessing like this fucking shit show that's about to happen.
And Hifumi can't talk, so she's like, I don't know how to fix
Where's
this.
my pillow? I want to take a nap.
She just needs to get to cosplay character and just be like,
Although
you're a fucking bitch.
I do have to say that
Hold your
like
chin.
Momo has to understand that she's just an intern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not like she like
At the end of this, she's going back to school.
like there's no guarantee that she'll be picked up.
It's good to have that drive, but bitch, be humble. Sit down.
Sit down.
Sit down. Be
Be
humble. Good reference. Good reference.
We
Fist
heard
bump.
we heard that earlier.
Fist bump.
And then at Korean barbecue we had
Sit down.
there was a
Be
moment
humble.
there was a moment where a mother was telling her baby to sit down and then she was just
Like every 2
Be
seconds.
be humble.
Dude, too
It was
good.
tonight.
Too good tonight. It's tight, dude. That's tight.
Anyway,
The last part we were talking about in the car. So that scene where Christina,
yeah,
the producer,
blonde producer with the
has to
braid.
go talk to the character team and tell Ko that she needs to draw more promotional art. What did you guys think about that?
It was a weird scene because you have that fucking cat, that fat fucking cat that's spoiled as fuck, and they're like somehow had catnip in the charm that the
it was planned.
that just, well, I mean, obviously it was planned, but it's like the scene starts off with like them drinking together and like, I don't know how I'm gonna convince all them to like me. They probably hate me because of what I did, so I'm just gonna drink. It's like, all right. And then the director's like, she's like fucking scheming something. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna get you, like, and so she ends up going, and the cat's like fucking all over her, and it's like this cat is
She's
so
like trying to hump her leg.
The cat is so lazy for it to be doing this. It's like, there's like something up, and
like there's catnip.
yeah, like and so eventually it's like Ko picks up the cat and they have this conversation. They're like, yeah, I'm not like a fucking artist, but I'll do this for you because it's for the company and things like that. And then like Alba's there and it's like awkward. It's like, do we ask Alba to do like one piece of art for this or don't we? Because there's like a fucking 2-page list of all this art that she's got to do. But anyway, it was like a really awkward scene. And then like they come back and the director and her are just like, like, oh, did I help you out? And she's like, yeah. He's like, and then she kisses the cat. He's like, why don't you kiss me? Like, it's just, I don't know. It was like kind of awkward.
Yeah. So the problem I had, I knew that this would have a problem being integrated into the episode because, so the first season, Mochizuki the cat, he's there. But he actually doesn't exist in the manga until this scene. So, like, this is way later. This is after the anime. And so we've got this scene where, there's the whole drinking and she's all depressed because she couldn't stand up to the publisher and, like, kind of have it so that Alba would be the one drawing the key visuals. And so she's like, oh, the character team probably hates me. And so, like, the director actually... had the idea of like, oh, just hold the cat, and then like it'll like throw off Ko and like the character team, and so like that's what's supposed to happen.
Okay.
And then the way like she gets close to the character team is like they're like, oh, is that a cat? Whose cat is that? Like, he's so cute, and that's like how the interaction starts. Gotcha. Whereas instead they have the cat fucking jump rape.
Yeah, like
Christina. Because she's got the catnip, and then everyone's like, "Oh, are you okay?" And then Alba like helps her up, and then she gets freaks out because Alba's holding her hand.
Don't you fucking touch me!
Get the fuck away from me!
Don't you fucking
that part's the same.
Touch me!
That part's the same. But like, the preface was that like they were all crowding around the cat, and she's like, "Oh, like, get away from me!"
Yeah.
But they did it kind of awkwardly this episode because it just kind of felt like, why the fuck is she just yelling, "Get the fuck away from me"? And it's like she's just helping her up.
Yeah.
Like, you grabbed her hand. Like, what?
Yeah.
It was just, it was oddly implemented.
Yeah, it was an awkward
So
scene.
I must have had some reason to stop the episode before this happened because I don't remember any of this.
That was at the start of the episode, my
That
man.
was at the start?
My man.
But you remember
Then
the
I
end
wasn't
of it.
paying attention then at the beginning.
Yeah.
Something happened.
You remember Momo and the other girl showing up, right?
It was right after
I was
the
probably
interview.
like watching Dr. Disrespect.
It was,
to be entirely honest.
it was right after the interview with Nenechi.
Or 10.2%.
You're probably just forgetting things.
Got
right
'em.
now.
So anyway, a couple good episodes. Let's talk about maybe the not so good episodes this week. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with me on that. But let's start with our happy hour segment and Sakura Quest. I know Rolando and I were talking about it a little bit, but this is probably the worst episode of the series.
It's definitely the worst.
It was not good. The animation was poor.
For half the episode.
The story was awful. The pacing was terrible. Just a lot of not good things happening here.
So let me throw this out there.
Yeah.
Because you guys obviously talked about it already. I did not like this episode either.
Yeah, of course.
Like a couple minutes into it, I was like, my room is messy. I can read from across my room. So I got up and started cleaning my room and reading the subtitles whenever it showed up. I was like, that's what they said. All right, move on. So I did not notice the animation issues because I was across the room from my monitor. But it was not very good.
There were times where like I was in the middle of texting you when I was watching it. And like I was just texting and I was like, I understand enough Japanese to be able to like, get like a basic conversation. So I'm just like not even looking at the screen and just like,
I would like glance over, read it real quick, go back to cleaning my room, look over, read it real quick, go clean my room. Like
The whole first half of this episode was very poorly animated.
Mm.
Like, there's the board of merchants meeting where they're talking about having them join the festival committee.
Yeah.
And Chitose's face is just... Her
like,
face
normally
it's like, yeah, it looks angry, but they drew it like 3/4 of the size that it normally is.
Well, and normally she has like this like no chin, like fat, and it was just like even worse. And I'm just like,
what the fuck? And then like people's eyes are all over the place, and like
I think that's like standard like for PA works. Like there's always like a couple episodes that are just like what
shit quality.
Eyes are like we're getting into like Clannad style eyes and like
we're like for sure it's gonna be fixed for the Blu-rays. But like God, it was just so poor quality.
Mm-hmm. And the episode on top of that was shit. I don't want to talk about it that long because it's not good. Basically, the points that we get is bitch girl runs away. That's gonna be her name from now on.
I don't remember her name. So
Erica,
bitch girl.
Bitch girl. She runs away and she's like, I don't want to live in this town. This town sucks. Let's hitchhike in the middle of fucking winter to Tokyo. Where are you going to sleep? A net cafe. You can't because you're a middle schooler. Well, I'm going to sleep on the streets. You can't sleep on the streets. Then I'll just be awake the whole time.
Okay.
Gonna die.
Okay.
Cool. Like,
okay, hand emoji.
Like, I feel like they could have solved this conflict too with they have Maki's brother just like come and stay with them for a day because she's like enamored with him. Just like sit on this couch while she's here, and she'll just be she'll stay and it'll be fine.
Be like, this town is great, and she'll be like, this town is great.
But
he's like, you don't want to taiko drum with me anymore.
But I mean, anyway, that whole thing came out of left field. It's not even necessary. Like
it's super random.
Why are they talking? And maybe it's to have what's her name?
Shi-chan.
I want to call her Kotori because she looks like fucking
Shiori.
Kotori. Shiori.
She got shit on this episode.
She did get shit on, but like she's like having an existential crisis. Like, should I leave? Like, I'm the only one who's never wanted to leave. Like,
she's having an issue, and it's growth for her, which is cool.
I think that's what it's like initiating, but it's like nobody cares about Erica. She's fucking like stupid. She's like a stupid middle schooler
in a way that was just not like it didn't feel
they could have done
fluid.
They could have done it. They could have done it with like Ruriko and like they could have done it with like Ruriko and being like, yeah, I'm talking to this like Spanish person who travels all over the world. And had like Ruriko being like, well, maybe I want to leave now and do it. And they could have done it like that, but instead they decided this Erica thing, which is dumb. Like I said, though, Maki is not going to get any more development. Like, that's a promise. She's not resoluting anything with her dad or anything like that. Like, that's not going to happen.
Well, that's already done.
Yeah, that's what I said, like, last episode. You thought she would get more, but...
I didn't say she was going to get more with her dad. I said that was done.
Yeah.
But she's going to get more characters.
I don't think so. But anyway, so they went around and talked to merchants for a while, and that was cool, I guess.
And then the episode ended in the, like, there was like, the pacing of this episode was really bad, and it ended in a spot that it's a cliffhanger because you're supposed to expect what's happening next, but the way it was paced was like, oh, you feel like there's still, like, this is the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It, like, ended, I was like,
it ended at, like, a really
end.
stupid spot.
It's like, oh, they're going to dig up this dragon, maybe. Okay.
That whole dragon thing was stupid, too, because they were talking about it. And, like, oh, the shining dragon. Clearly, it's the fucking... the thing.
And more characters I don't care about. Bookstore owner, cop, and bus driver. Like,
he wanted to be a bookstore owner when he was a kid.
And he's fucking complaining that the town sucks. Like, this is what you wanted, you stupid idiot. Like,
the one thing I did like about the episode though was that like how they each had their own piece of the code, and I was just thinking back to when I was a kid.
Decipher it.
Yeah, they wrote retarded shit.
Yeah, so I was thinking back to when I was a kid and I had quote unquote codes with like my dude friends, and if I were to go back and look then, I'd be like, we're a bunch of fucking idiots. Like, what are we talking about? Oh yeah. north of the big tree that goes south with the corner. And it's like, what are you fucking talking about, you stupid child? Like, so for that was probably the only part of the episode that I liked because it was relatable.
and-
We didn't even get to see how dumb the code was because they
Yeah.
just ended the
They
episode.
just ended it, yeah.
Well, and maybe like I just have like a good memory or something. But if something like that was like so impactful in my life, like
You would remember it.
I would fucking remember where I buried that.
Yeah.
Like I would need a fucking code. Like, oh, we have a fucking wish that's gonna be granted for sure. Like I'm gonna
Keep in mind though, those guys are like 20 years older than
All
us.
right. Also,
so-
let's think about this.
and they have kids and wives.
Now they have a wish. Well, I mean, not bus driver, but the other two have a wish, and it's probably to get laid.
yeah. That's
Oh,
true.
that's true.
So
Wait,
they can
that's
have
true.
the single wish now.
That's true. Policeman, he's
so
working on
maybe
it.
one
The
of them
two
will get
thirsty
laid.
dudes. The two
Yeah.
thirsty dudes.
Right now they're not paying attention to what they
Well,
did.
they're
as
they're in,
children.
they're in Maki's
Trying to
play,
get
like
laid.
trying to get with Maki, and Maki's just like,
No.
ew.
Peace.
Like I want to eat crickets.
Sorry,
and
I'm half
shit,
your age.
Cicadas.
No, thank you.
Anyway,
That's Moe.
shitty episode.
It was very bad.
Not good. Hopefully it gets better. Kind of disappointed in PA Works. but-
I'm very disappointed because the
Last episode, I liked it.
the screenwriter is not known for this quality of
Maybe he's sick.
it's a she.
Maybe she's sick this week.
They put it to Vietnam for these episodes. They
Well,
exported
like
it.
the animation was clearly like outsourced because very poor keyframes and
Yeah.
in between
You
animation.
hear that, PA Works?
Get on it.
You hear that?
PA Works, you set a standard and we expect
Stick to
higher.
it.
No more glass.
No
lip
more
chickens.
no more of this typical anime bullshit where you save it for the Blu-rays.
Or only do 12 episodes and give us 12 quality episodes. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Classroom of the Elite. We had the fan service episode. A lot of boobies.
Yeah.
A lot of scheming from the dudes in the class, but not a lot of real development.
I feel like it would be more interesting to talk about who you're most interested in rather than the actual episode.
I mean, not a lot of the girls were like interesting. We have Sakura who wears like a fucking rash guard for the whole episode.
Well, we already know who you like.
Well, everybody knows who I like.
Kotori.
It's almost her birthday anyway. But
Love Live.
we got swimsuits. We got the three idiot of the class D trying to film them, and Iono Kuji basically being the whistleblower and saying, "Hey, don't do this." But in the end, he kind of gets his way in that he promotes Class D by having Harita
And Suzune is in the same point. Like,
yeah. Having and he kind of manipulates her. He manipulates pretty much everyone at will, which is kind of cool. But he has her stand up on the high dive, and I'm like,
fucking announcement.
please jump off this. Like,
Ask me about my wiener.
you've had too much to drink, sir.
A little bit.
10.2%.
10.2%. But she makes this announcement being like, we're all defective in Class D, but we have our strong points and we can overtake anybody at will. And then we have girl with cane and dragon red haired boy from Class C. They show up. They all hear the speech and they're like, yeah, we're gonna out to
We're
get
so
you now.
cool.
She kind of puts herself, out on a platter, and it's like, does Iono Kuji, plan for this or what
Wants to
have
live
you?
a normal life, dude.
Well,
But he said he would help her.
but I mean, he's fucking manipulating. He's manipulating everybody. He told like the three idiot dudes like, oh yeah, I'll help you out with your spying on the girls in the locker room plan, and then he like goes behind their back and like, hey, Harita, they're gonna do this, and she's like, these fucking scumbags. The thing I think is the most important scene other than the speech was kind of their coming together and their bonding at the end where, he pushes her in the pool. She drags him into the pool and then they all start splashing each other and stuff like that. So it's like, It kind of gives Harita like a little bit of humanity because she's
because after that she's looking at the picture
and she smiles, and I was like, that whole time that scene was happening when she's on her bed and looking at the phone, I'm like, you're gonna smile because you actually like this, even though you're like this lone wolf.
But she's still gonna do the whole Cinder thing.
Yeah,
she's
of
like,
course.
It's better being alone.
But at the same time, she does care about these people at least a little bit. She's like, I'm glad I'm alone or whatever, but she kind of cares, which is good.
Deep down, the main character just wants to screw all of them. That's why he's manipulating.
He doesn't want to screw any of them.
He doesn't want to live a normal life. He just wants to live a high school life where he
capable of having a
fucks
boner.
everyone. He doesn't have the blood
He's
flow.
that degaff.
Maybe.
He degaffed, dude.
Maybe.
No,
dude.
but
He's gonna bone them all.
The best part of the episode, though,
Unlike Creeper Dude from Camera.
grab your idol girl's splash. That was the best part.
and then she like sinks down.
And then she
like,
sinks down. She's like,
sorry,
I'm so embarrassed.
Like, yeah, I mean, it was well animated. It was a good fan service episode.
There were a
but
lot of boobs just
A ton.
in your face.
a ton of boobs.
So I didn't get to watch this episode, but I saw the little image and I was like, so this is the fan service episode because it's what's the yandere blonde girl? The one who's got the crazy purple eyes when she's two different, she's nice and then she's crazy.
Oh,
I don't remember her name.
You know,
I know
what I'm
you're
talking
talking
about?
about. I know you're talking about.
I don't remember her name, but I always think that she looks like
She got the crazy eyes.
she looks like Hanayo from Love Live.
So
Yeah.
the crazy girl,
Yeah, she's.
it's
got
her in a
crazy-
bikini in the little
that
thumbnail.
red bikini. Yeah.
I was like, this is the fan service episode.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, it was.
It was.
you guys are proving what I thought.
Nothing happened. You should still watch it though.
I will.
There's boobies.
I will. I was gonna. I started watching it and then I started doing other things because I thought people were trying to steal my identity, and I fixed that.
Probably shouldn't talk about
You
that.
probably shouldn't talk about
I'm not.
On-
It's okay.
because people are going to steal your identity.
Because people
are
They're going
gonna-
to try.
Let's cut
They're
this
like,
out.
well, he already almost
Let's
got
cut
stolen.
this
so
out.
No, let's cut this out. We'll cut this out, guys. We'll cut this out.
Anyways, I'm curious to see how many episodes this series is gonna get because it still is question mark. So it's probably gonna be 24, which is good. It needs
36.
it's paced for 24.
It's phased for
actually
24.
27.
It needs it. I'm curious to see what Girl with Cane and Dragon red-haired boy are gonna do, and how Iona Kuji kind of fits into their plans, and if he's gonna end up manipulating them or not.
Of course.
So we kind of see like the heads of all the classes. We have Girl with Cane. We had in class A. In class B, it's the blonde, huge tits.
Ichinose.
In class C, it's red-haired dragon silk shirt wearing dude with chain. And in class 4, it's ID Gaff, Iona Kuji plus.
Except it's Suzune is the figurehead.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's manipulating her, so it's. I mean, they're like a pair, but who's manipulating who? She thinks she's in control, but she's clearly
not.
Clearly not.
The
Clearly
teacher knows that too.
Yeah. Oh
The
yeah.
teacher's
100%,
like,
100%.
you're not in control. Learn about him.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm learning about him. I'm controlling him.
And then he's
no,
like,
you're not.
And he's like, don't fucking pry into my
Yeah.
past, bitch.
All right, so
He turns and there's the shadow, and he's like, don't pry into my past.
It's raining. Like,
so
Of course.
so
Typical anime.
so to go on with what you said earlier, Alec.
When?
We were talking about gamers, and you're
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh, I'm interested to see who between Karen and Chiaki you end up liking at the end because that'll say a lot about like the type of girls you like."
Uh-huh.
I feel like this is the type of series where like if you choose somebody, it kind of like lends credence to like the type of girl you like.
I think it's more obvious. Or like so I think depending on who you pick in this show,
We already know you said it last week.
so I feel like if you pick a girl in this show, it's obvious which strong characteristics you like.
Yeah.
But in gamers, it's more it indicates which type of girl
Yeah.
you like more like as a whole. Because you're like, I like the strong type on the front, but shy in the background, or shy in the front, strong in the background, that sort of thing. That's what I'm saying.
Can't you do it from the front?
Ichinose.
Can't you do it from the
Sit
back?
down. Be humble. So that's why I still think that who we pick in gamers is more indicative of the type of chicks you're into.
Like
Yeah, but I still think
personality
that's
wise.
personality wise.
I still think this is gonna be fun.
it
Yeah.
will be fun.
Yeah.
It will be fun. But like personality wise, I think that is because there's more to like there's more behind the scenes on the characters. I mean, there's stuff behind like all of these other characters, but their main characteristics are more apparent in Classroom of the Elite than they are in Gamers, where it's kind of that two-facedness.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Is
saying.
that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm
Is it
sticking
what
to
you're
this.
saying?
I'm sticking to this.
Well, we know Drew likes Ichinose. Who do you like?
Which one's each of us?
The second
blonde with the
second
big
year
tits
with the
from Class
blonde with the
B.
huge
With the
tits.
crazy eyes?
No,
No.
Class B,
long hair. Long
Oh,
blonde hair.
the one that helped them out last
Which
episode.
one?
She
I
has
like?
she has all the points.
Yeah,
Oh, the prostitute.
yeah, the one that you call us a prostitute.
I call her a prostitute. Dude, there's no way she got all those points without sucking some dick, all right? She sucked the dick, and they're like, here's money. And that's why everyone's poor except her. Who do I like?
I like Ichinose. That's who I like.
I mean, obviously everyone knows that I like fucking Kane
Oh, yeah.
Hype Girl because she's dope as fuck.
You
She's-
gave her an eye patch apparently.
Yeah, she's sitting there.
She's-
yes, I have an eye patch and a
patch and a
No,
cane.
and my
so she's-
brandy.
She's sitting there with a cup of brandy with the lighter going. She's heating it up. She's got the eye patch. She's got a cane and a hat. No. Like
He likes
there's
Harikta because he's fucking basic.
there's Harikta. There's a blonde long hair
Ichinose.
prostitute. There's Yandere bitch and
the
then
girl that looks
there's
like Haneo.
Sakura. For
Mhm.
me, it's probably a tie between Yandere bitch when she's not crazy and Sakura.
I like her when she's crazy.
Yeah, of course you would.
Oh,
Just step
yeah.
on your balls, dude. Like hardcore, she'll be like, I'm gonna bust these. Yeah, that's what she'd do.
Yeah.
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 Of course you like her.
Yeah.
Ichinose though. Ichinose is cool. Like in what we've gotten of her, she's cool
I
as
think
like balanced
There's still a lot we
character.
don't
But
know.
I know that
I think she's gonna
crazy.
end up being fake because.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, how did you get that
Prostitute.
many points? Like,
Prostitute. She sucks
Yeah.
dick for money.
She's not a prostitute, but
I mean, none of them are prostitutes. They're in
Yeah.
high school.
she's probably manipulating people.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, she's doing something. So like right now, she's the most like balanced girl because she seems the most normal. She won't be. She'll be the craziest of all of them.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. 100%. 100 P.
100 P
100
says.
Yeah. 100 P.
Anyway, moving on. Couple pieces of news. I noticed that the Coronado Brewing Company, we did a beer on them quite a few weeks back, but they have an initiative going, Pints for Prostate, so promoting men's health and things like that. All their new bottled beers will have special bottle caps on the top, and a lot of the proceeds towards buying them will go to men's health and preventing prostate cancer.
Is it
and
only the ones with the bottle cap or?
yeah,
Okay.
but all their beers, like I think for the next like couple weeks, are gonna have that specialized
the
bottle
bottle
cap.
cap?
It's like blue and it has like a pint on it, and it's like pints for prostates.
Okay. So it says it on there.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
kind of like Movember or anything like that.
That's cool.
Working for men's health and different things like that. So kind
We
of cool.
have the breast cancer with the little, what is it?
The ribbon.
The ribbon. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's nice that we have like another
Yeah.
cancer kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's baby blue. Baby blue is the like men's health / prostate cancer awareness sort of color.
Okay.
So be on the lookout for those if you can get your hand on any of those. Promote men's health.
Save lives.
Yeah, get your prostate checked. Check your testicles for cancer. All that good stuff. Anyway, so just be aware of that. Support
Drew's a
the
doctor.
support the cause.
Drew checks prostates.
Yeah,
He does.
Well, anyway.
It's a pleasure.
He checks his own prostate.
One other piece of news I wanted to mention. I'm finishing Owari Monogatari and my notes and things like that. Alex about to die like right now.
Alex died.
He's literally like about to die.
He's thinking about Drew checking his prostate.
My own prostate, like just sticking my hand like right up there.
He's just, he can't even right now. He can't even.
He can't even.
He can't even.
But be on the lookout for that Owari Monogatari one-off like blog post or whatever it happens to be. I'm finishing up my notes on that and what I want to talk about. So there's gonna be that in the future. I've watched the first 2 like seasons, and they're like 45 minutes each. The last one's about an hour and a half. So I'm waiting to cover that. It's a lot of material. It's it's very deep and in depth as what you would expect for the Monogatari season. So I want to make sure I have everything together before we do post anything on that. So just be on the lookout for that. Other than that, do you guys have any news or anything you wanted to add? Any games you guys are playing or stuff like that?
No.
I mean, I'm playing Persona 4 slowly but surely.
That's pretty hype.
How far
good.
are you?
Let's see. So I've beaten the.
Did you beat Rise's dungeon?
No, I haven't beaten Rise's dungeon yet. I beat the first and the second. I think. What is the second?
Kanji?
I don't know.
The bathhouse?
No. I
Yeah,
beat
we
the
did
first
that.
one, and then I was like halfway. I think probably to the next one.
You're probably in. I don't even know where you are. Whatever.
The second one's Kanji's dungeon.
But yeah.
So he's probably still in what's her name's Yukiko.
No,
Yeah.
he finished Yukiko's.
No, I finished
You
Yukiko.
finish it, then Kanji's is the next.
Yeah. So I was like moving on to that.
Okay,
Yeah. So I'm starting that one.
cool.
I think. Yeah.
Did you meet the silver-haired boy
No.
who sews?
No, I haven't met him yet.
Okay.
Oh,
No. I will meet
Naoki,
him soon.
right? Now Naoki?
I don't know.
But it's a fun game.
It's Senpai's brother.
I enjoy it. I had to write down though because
Oh,
I
wait, no,
joined
you're
like a
talking
billion
about
clubs.
the boy who sews. You're talking about Kanji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about
I joined like a billion clubs and I had to write down on paper when they all meet.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
I forgot. I was like,
You
wait,
need to.
Thursdays and Tuesdays.
Yeah.
I have a sheet with like.
Did you
it's
join
titled
soccer or basketball?
Soccer.
That's what
I joined.
that's what I did.
You didn't
Yeah.
join drama?
No, I joined soccer and band because I was in band in high school.
I did basketball and band.
Basketball.
I
and
did
band.
soccer and drama.
I did band, and so I had to write. And then I joined a job after that, and I was like, "Crap, I can't keep track of all these. I can barely keep track of my own dates in real life." Like,
Yeah, it's a
wrote it
lot
down.
to the social links are a lot to keep track of. Persona 5 kind of keeps it a little bit easier, so I think you might enjoy that one a little bit more from a casual aspect. But definitely finish Persona 4. It's
I
fucking,
will. Yeah,
it's tonight.
it's been fun so
Yeah.
far. I definitely enjoy like the
can't-
fighting.
I can't wait till he gets to fucking the mall. The scene with fucking Hanako. Oh, I can't wait till he gets there.
Am I gonna be triggered? Or?
No, you're gonna
no,
fucking.
no.
You're gonna love it, dude.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna
Alright.
love it.
All right.
It's the best.
Hanako's sitting on the bike.
Oh,
It's gonna be a
it's
while.
the best.
So we'll see.
Anyway.
No, it's not gonna be a while.
It
It's
won't?
gonna come up.
Oh,
soon.
it's soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Well, I'll play it soon. But yeah, it's fun. That's my video game news.
Cool.
fun game, play
If you can get to the Stone Brewery, be on the lookout for that Stone Koteka collaboration, the Rise and Grind Red Imperial Stout. I think we definitely all enjoyed that. The growler has been killed.
It's dead.
Anybody want to update their ratings? I think mine still kind of
Mine
stays the
still
same.
stands
Yeah,
to
it
4
was
for me.
4.25.
It was good. So right on. Be sure to check out our WordPress, animeondraft.wordpress.com, our Twitter at Anime on Draft, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube. Just search for Anime on Draft. You'll be able to check us out on all those. Any last words, my guys? Or
I know we have not used Instagram at all.
Oh,
I will-
yeah.
Like we will try to more,
Well,
but
Also,
maybe.
I just remembered I didn't give my answer for we were talking about earlier.
Oh yeah, girl from Classroom of the League.
ooh.
You didn't pick
Yeah, you can guess.
this fool. No,
Yes.
I don't want to
Chiaki.
guess. You pick
Yes.
Chaiki.
Chaiki.
That's not the same anime.
Hurita.
No.
100%.
Alex, right?
Yeah.
You like that tsundere, huh?
I'm all about it.
All about that.
I'm wearing a shirt.
Tsundere.
I'm wearing a shirt that
She's
says
got a
tsundere on it.
she's got
and yet
she's
you
got a
picked like the opposite.
she's got a strong personality.
and he likes it.
Exactly.
Anyway, wrapping it up. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us, and we're out. Ichinose.
Thanks for hanging with us, guys.
Yeah.
Have a good night. And ladies,
Cheers,
all
man.
you people,
Sit down.
be humble.